Today in Syria, ISIS and U.S.-backed forces fought over one of the terror group's final holdouts, and the U.S. is reinforcing the area with additional troops to prepare for withdrawal. But as the U.S. draws down, there are still Americans being held by the Syrian regime. Nick Schifrin brings us one of their stories with a family that is just now going public.
When Majd Kamalmaz wasn't throwing the football, hiking up a or fishing in the ocean, he was with his brood of grandchildren.
He was an amazing grandfather. We have family in Indiana, in Texas, in Iowa, and Virginia, and he was the glue that brought everybody together.
Khaled Kamalmaz is Majd's son, and when Majd wasn't with his children and grandchildren, he was helping other people's children who'd suffered through conflict or natural disasters.
He had a big heart, and he couldn't help seeing anyone in pain. He saw a shortage, and he felt like there was a need. And so he was an advocate of that need.
After the war in Bosnia, the tsunami in Indonesia, and Hurricane Katrina, he led an NGO that treated children who needed help. In 2012, he told an Arabic news outlet how children can be resilient with their parents' support.
Parents should always stand with their children. This gives the child confidence in his or her family and ensures they can overcome any issue in the future.
He's a father, he's a husband, a brother, a son. He is a friend of many, a colleague, and he's missed very deeply.
Kamalmaz was last seen in Damascus in 2017. His family says he was not part of the war or helping rebel fighters. Instead, he was paying respects for his father-in-law's death. A Western diplomat told the family he was picked up by police and transferred to a Syrian prison.
First on CBS this morning,
And now, after 2 years of no progress, they're going public with a media blitz to deliver a direct appeal to the president. They wrote him a letter asking for his assistance.
We're trying to approach President Donald Trump to see if we can get his attention so he can take this matter personally. He's the only one we feel that would be able to bring our father back home to us.
We are very happy to have Aya back home.
President Trump has secured the release of several Americans held hostage overseas. Aya Hijazi spent 3 years in jail. Last May, the president greeted Americans at the airport after negotiating their release with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. And 2 months later, the president welcomed Pastor Andrew Brunson, who'd been held by Turkey.
Lord God, I ask that you pour out your Holy Spirit on President Trump.
There hasn't gone a day that we haven't been praying for him, thinking about him. Is he okay? Is his health okay? Is he alive? We believe that President Trump has the ability and has the heart to do it.
But the U.S. has cut all diplomatic relations with Syria and so has little leverage over Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Assad is believed to be holding at least one more American, journalist Austin Tice. On the anniversary of Tice's disappearance last August, his mother Deborah pleaded for his release.
Our beloved Austin was taken captive in Syria. We have had no contact at all with him. 5 years is a very long time for any parent to be missing their child.
A State Department spokesman says, quote, "Our embassies and consulates abroad have no greater responsibility than the protection of U.S. citizens overseas, and the government remains in regular contact with the Kamalmaz family." Majd's children say the government has been helpful, and they have a message to their father.
We love you, and that we're working very hard as we can to bring you back home. And we haven't given up on you.
Please know that these 2 years have been very hard for us, not knowing where you are, your health. We're doing our best. We're doing our very best to bring you back home.
All they can do now is wait and try to hold on to the resilience that their father gave them. For the PBS News Hour, I'm Nick Schifrin.